Coaches, stop telling your athletes to be more confident. You're wasting your breath. Confidence isn't something that you can just talk somebody into, but it is something that you can teach. And if I haven't met you, I'm Coach Bre. I am a longtime head volleyball coach, also a mental performance coach. And if I had $1 for every time that I used to say to an athlete, you have the skills, you just need to be more confident, I'd have a lot of dollars. But here's the truth. It doesn't work. You can't actually just tell somebody to be confident and they know what that means, but you can teach the skills to create it. And that's exactly what we are covering today. 3 tangible tools that you can start teaching your team this week so that you can just stop with you just need to be more confident and expect that they know what that means. And I get why we say that. It's the athlete who is awesome in practice, and then they kind of freeze in games, and all that talent just kind of disappears when the pressure is on. And honestly, I was that athlete. I, in high school struggled a lot with the pressure and this, need to be this, what I thought needed to be a perfect athlete. And I struggled a lot with it. And it wasn't until I was in college and actually learned some of these mental training tools when I was playing volleyball in college that I realized, oh, confidence is actually something that you can teach through simple sports psychology skills. But nobody up until that point taught me like how to actually be confident. They just would say, do it. And that doesn't work. And it wasn't until I was a coach that I realized, oh, this actually is also something that my girls can learn, right? So the 3 tools that I teach my athletes, and by the way, I've been using mental training with my team for the past 7 years, and it's really made a difference. We've won 4 consecutive state championships. So my girls will tell you that it hasn't hurt us, okay? But tool number 1, one of the most important things is to teach them how to get over mistakes fast. That is one of the things that tends to kill athletes' confidence the most when they make a mistake and then they get pulled out immediately or they're expected to come back fast, but they don't actually have the skill to do that. And here's the problem. I see coaches and I hear coaches all the time saying, shake it off, next play, things like that. Like it's okay to make aggressive errors. And that's all fine, but it's still not teaching them a skill to get over a mistake. Because they make the mistake, you tell them to shake it off, but they're like, I don't really know how to shake it off, or you pull them out immediately. And they need to have a tangible skill to be able to get over mistakes so that they can feel free to take risks and play hard, knowing they know how to recover. So we teach our athletes something called the Snapback Routine. It is a combination of 3 things: a breath, and a reset word at the top. So breath, reset word at the top. This is custom to them. It's found based on best past playing experiences, how they want to feel in that moment. Some words that they use are like fun, free, fierce, calm. Sometimes it's a funny word. Sometimes it's a choice word, but whatever, it's in their own head. And then on their exhale, they're doing some sort of reset signal. So they're snapping their fingers, they're looking at something stationary on the court, adjusting a hair tie. It's all like very simple, short things to help ground them in the present moment. So we teach the snapback routine at the very beginning of the season. We practice it in practice. They have that as a tool that they can use in games. And it's also now I have a common language with my athletes. So I can call a timeout. I can say, hey, say your reset word, or hey, do your snapback routine. And they know what that means. Now, if you want to know more about how to teach this to your team, I break this down at my free training. It's at coachfreetraining.com. You can learn that skill and a little more in depth on how you can actually bring it to your team. But that is one of the number 1 skills that you can be teaching them because that directly impacts their confidence. Mistakes, like I said, are one of the number 1 things that cuts an athlete's confidence. And if they have a tool to come back, now they're going to be more confident. Okay, number 2 is teach them about their body language. This one's almost like so simple, it seems too easy, okay? Because your body tells your brain how to feel. And so teach your athletes that how they carry themselves, especially after a mistake, if they're slumped, if their head is down, if they're dragging their feet, then their brain is telling them that it's not okay, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. And now if we flip that though, like we teach shoulders back, head high, chin up, like purposeful movement, power poses, things like that, your brain reads that as I'm okay, I'm still in this. And it also gives a message to everybody around you, right? It gives a message to your teammates, gives a message to your opponents, to coaches. And I coach my athletes on this all the time. I literally tell them to stand like a champion, even if you don't feel like one. Because when you have bad body language, there's 2 things that are happening. You're discouraging yourself and you're encouraging your opponents. And we don't want to do either of those things. And so just teaching them about their body language and how they carry themselves, especially after something happens in a competition that doesn't go their way, is really, really key. Okay. And listen, again, if you're realizing that your athletes like don't have these tools, You're not alone. Like most coaches were never taught how to teach the mental side of the game, which by the way, they say controls 90% of it. So again, go to coachbretraining.com. That's where I kind of break down these skills in depth. But the third one that I started teaching that made a big difference in an athlete's confidence is their daily mindset routine. So I start practice every single day with a 5 to 7 minute routine. We call it 3-2-1 Brave. And it includes a few different elements. Okay, so I'll break it down for you. But 3-2-1, that stands for 3 affirmations. They're writing down in their journal 3 affirmations every single day. These are found at the beginning of the season based on what their goals are for the season. Our brain is constantly looking for things in our environment to, mostly help us, but sometimes our brain, has this negativity bias. It'll find all the negative. It'll find all the things to affirm a thought that's not really serving your athlete. So we need to put good inputs in, and that's what that's for writing those down. I give them then 2 minutes to free journal, or I'll prompt them. I'll say what does being a good teammate look like today? And so they'll spend 2 minutes kind of journaling on that and getting it out. 1 stands for 1 piece of gratitude. There's a lot of evidence that comes from gratitude in how they show up and how they play. And then 1 piece of evidence that one of the affirmations is coming true. So they're actively searching for evidence in their environment that one of their affirmations is coming true. So say one of their affirmations is, I'm a fast, aggressive defender. What evidence do you have from the last 24 hours that that's true? And since they have 3 affirmations, they have 3 to choose from, but it could be something small. It could be like, I laid out for a ball I didn't think I could get. So they're constantly training and rewiring their brain to find the good in their environment, and that leads to confidence. And then the Brave is a visualization. It's a 3-minute visualization that I read for the players. That's also an acronym. So it's 5 breaths. The B stands for breaths. R stands for reset word. So they say their reset word at the top of that breath. A stands for affirmation. So they say each of their affirmations. V stands for visualization. So they actually visualize each of those affirmations for about 15 seconds because they're creating those patterns in their brain. And then the E stands for energetic shift. So at the end, they should feel like, okay, I'm ready to go to practice. And again, that's rewiring their brain because when they visualize, they're actually firing the same pathways as if it's happening in real life. So they're preparing themselves for what they're about to do in practice or in competition. So this isn't woo-woo, it is neuroscience. When you visualize, again, your brain creates the same neural pathways as if you actually did it. So they're doing that every single day before practice, and that will help them show up more confidently. Okay, so this is hitting home. Do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, but head to our free training at coachbretraining.com. That's where we break more of these things down. And if you're finding that like your athlete's confidence is being impacted by team dynamics, I've got a video for you. I'll link that right now. I have a quick routine that I do every Friday during season. It's called the Open Circle Method. And this is also helpful to help athletes feel included and psychologically safe so that they can show up confidently because they feel like they're connected to their teammates. So I'll see you in that next video.